I know that you've all been prepared for this, but I thought I'd just remind you just the same.
Can you handle that, Blondie?
Game over, man. Game over. What the fuck are we gonna do now? What are we gonna do?
Touch pure evil.
I want to buy some radio ad time.
So tonight on the Vinnie Hour, and we're back for another episode of Invasion of the Polly Snatchers. I'm your host, Vincent Green. He's your host.
Noel John Toohey.
And let's get to it, motherfuckers.
Over here.
All right, Noel. We're back. And last time we took a look at the Alien franchise, and this time we're going to take a look at the Predator franchise. Even though, are these coming out one after another? It doesn't matter. But Noel, so what did you think of this? We went back. It's like 3 decades of movie making and 4 movies.
87 to 2018.
Yeah, so what, 3 decades of movie making?
Yeah, 80s, 90s.
And 2000s.
Well, 2010, technically not noughties.
Yeah, that's what I think. Yeah. So 3 eras over 4 decades.
Yeah.
So what did you think? Like, we know the first one's the classic, and that's obviously the best of the bunch, and that's where we're going to start. What did you make of the Predator when you were younger? What did you make of it now?
The Predator to me when I was younger was everything. I used to have it on a cassette tape. Yeah. And I had it on VHS, and I remember I used to, like, in primary school, I used to loan it to David Harney and Kevin Marin were the names two guys. And I used to, like, call down to their house and we'd watch it. I mean, I've seen this film. I watched this film just the other day to be prepared for this podcast, and I went, oh, god damn it, I'm wasting my own fucking time here. I know this film, man. Yeah. This film was...
It's never a waste of time to watch
greatness.
Yeah.
It was just greatness.
Yeah.
This is a 10 out of 10. There is some shitting on a franchise to come a little bit, but it's not going to come in the context we talk about this.
One thing I love about this movie is, like, it's an action science fiction movie or whatever, a bit of horror. But when I watched it the other day, I can, like, do you know when you watch a movie a lot, and I try to watch it under a new kind of, like, perspective. So I really threw the microscope on it the other day when I was looking at it. There's so much to learn about filmmaking from this movie, man.
You're not wrong,
oh my god! Like, I was like,
great lines, great characters.
That soundtrack,
the soundtrack, and even like it's like Terminator had it as well. But when they were playing that music, it was always so powerful.
You know, in this one though, where they thought they hear something, and they hear and they play a little bit of music, and you're like, wait. Are they hearing it in the jungle? Is that the soundtrack? Are the characters hearing it? Or am I just hearing it? Who are they setting the tone for? You know what I mean? And actually, one thing I noticed as well when I was looking at Predator here the other day, because I wanted to be really, like, detailed about, because I've seen it so much, was I think Poncho is one of the most unsung characters of the entire group. Yeah. Like, not only is he the last one to die, because you know what I mean, he's the last one to die, and he's like he's one of the first ones to notice, I think, that, like, there's some shit going on, like, with him and Billy are the trackers, it seems, you know, that kind of way.
Yeah, Poncho was the guy with the language.
Yeah.
But he was also an extremely observant kind of character by nature.
Yeah.
But Billy was officially the tracker.
Billy
was actually in that role. But you're absolutely right, because he had, like, I mean, maybe the best line, and I just thought was delivered with such fever, was where he goes, I'm paraphrasing, goes, I know you, Billy, and you ain't afraid of no man. And he goes, there's something out here, Poncho. Yeah. And it ain't no man. And it was just such a great...
He goes, bullshit, Billy, you ain't afraid of no man.
Bullshit, Billy.
And he says, there's something out there waiting for his Poncho.
I felt the desperation from Poncho.
No man.
Poncho. It was just brilliant.
I loved when he's so tight when he says that. He's like, bullshit, Billy, you ain't afraid of no man.
Yeah,
because he's so worried, because this Billy is the barometer for how bad the situation is going. Like, you know.
But even
when
Anna is saying, like, you know, she's kind of rambling, but he can speak Spanish.
Yeah.
And he's saying, she's just saying, came from
the jungle, came alive and took him.
Jungle came alive and took him. Yeah. Doesn't make no damn sense.
Yeah. And I know he goes. She's saying the jungle came alive and took him, and then Carl Weathers goes, no, that's not what she's saying. What she's saying makes no damn sense. Yeah. Dylan's Carl Weathers, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. And because
Hawkins had a bit of Spanish as well.
But I think it was mainly because I think Poncho is supposed to be Latino.
Poncho was officially the guy
I think his character is supposed to be Latino though. I think
a fluent, like a proper fluent native speaker.
I just think he was like 1980s. You get Latino characters, so you have a white guy playing.
You know,
like if anyone's seen Scarface.
I mean, I remember, like, I'm not going to delve ahead, but I was in the later ones where there is killings. Like, I suppose that's the spoiler. I didn't care. I remember watching this. I felt some way about each and every single character
Yeah.
Dylan, Mac, and Billy, and Poncho, and Hawkins, and
Yeah.
Jesse Ventura was.
Fuck, what was that name? No, it was Tennessee. No,
Wait 1 second. I'm going down to Poncho.
no, don't Blaine.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah, it's Dutch, Dylan, Poncho, Hawkins, Mac, Billy, and Blaine.
And Mac and Blaine are best friends.
Yeah, and I can't. What's the Latino woman's name?
Anna.
And yeah, that's all of them. Like, so.
And that was the cast, yeah.
Has there ever been like there's so many action movies now that have tried to replicate the ensemble that was
And never.
nobody's touched it, like, you know what I mean?
Never.
You know what I mean?
You come for me with your Die Hard. Yeah, it was amazing, but you don't come for Predator.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I love Die Hard. I get it. But no, you do not come for Predator.
Yeah.
I thought Predator was a great ensemble of characters. I also thought
It was the perfect tier system as well. You had your megastar in Arnold Schwarzenegger, you had your B megastar in Carl Weathers, and then you had these really strong side characters that had worked with Arnold Schwarzenegger before, like Bill Dukes, who had been with him in Commando and shit like that. And, you know, you have Sonny Landham, who I don't know about any other movies he's ever met, and I don't care. He's going to be Billy for me. He's Billy for me forever.
forever.
You know what I mean?
But also, you just care. Like, that was the thing. There was a gravitas to it.
Yeah.
And even, like, of course, you have the Arnold Schwarzenegger, you know, he's going to be last man standing, but you just still felt like there was a fight in everyone. No character was filler.
Yeah.
And I always, when I say something like that, it always brings me back to albums that I've loved, and somebody goes, "Oh, I thought that was a great album, but it had filler on it. It had songs that you needed 10 songs."
That's my problem with 22 episode seasons. There's too much filler.
Too much filler.
It could be 15 episodes.
Yeah, or something that's looking for 10 seasons. It doesn't kill off any characters. It drags things out. This didn't have that. This was so self-contained, and it offers itself because it's based on an alien species hunting the humans. All you need is humans and
But
an
the
alien
best
species.
thing-
You can continue it.
But the
you
best
can
thing it does, though, is it goes. It's not just about how it conveys the powerfulness of its aliens, the alien antagonist. What it does is it goes, these guys, look how impressive they are. Look how impressive they are. These are their achievements. They're the best. Look how they're going to tell us they're the best. Jim, like, we did that's for this, guys. Why didn't you do this? Because you're the best. You're the best. You're the best. That's all the first 20 minutes of the movie is. They're the best at doing this. They're the best at doing that. Look how impressive they are. Look how immense they are. Look at
when they go and take the base
gorilla,
they absolutely annihilate.
Yeah.
Look
how impressive they are.
Yeah.
You know
no
what I mean?
fatalities. I ain't got time to bleed. Have you got time to duck?
Yeah. That's Poncho again as well. Yeah.
And
he's got some of the best lines.
He's got some of the best lines, absolutely.
Do you remember the part where they shoot Jesse Ventura's character Blaine gets shot? And what I loved about that is, you know, the next part where they all come out. And one thing I love about to see the most, right? Like, do you know when you go into any battle situation, they say to you, conserve ammo, short control burst, right? They're like, your man Bill Dukes, you know, Mackie's like, contact! And straight away, like, right, they all come in and just start shooting at nothing. Like, none of them see the target, right?
No.
Yeah. They like level half of Hawaii.
They've even got the minigun.
Yeah. Painless.
Yeah. Again, if you have a predator in your sight, even a predator would be not. You could literally turn him to fucking.
The funny thing about it is, you know the way the predator bleeds there on the leaves.
Yeah.
That's actually from Mac's initial first shooting with his assault rifle before he picks up all painless.
So all of that was into.
Oh yeah, like no more injuries after the first 3 shots.
A tree or something.
Yeah, like they cut down half the rainforest. I'm surprised they couldn't just see the chopper after that. The whole rainforest. Like, get to the chopper. It's over there.
But I always thought it was very liquid how they figured out the weaknesses of the predator. I never felt like it jumped or they kind of made the story bounce around so they could figure out shit before time. They had after that they had if it bleeds we can kill it.
Yeah, that was later on when Anna says when the big man got killed. Do you remember? It's like, and
so
you
Hawkins
shot
is dead at this stage.
Hawkins was the first to die.
Anna tries to escape.
Yeah.
Hawkins catches up with her. Predator kind of comes out.
Kills him.
I have seen this film 25 times.
Yeah.
And I'm never exactly sure what it is they find of Hawkins. They find this little red pile.
It's his guts.
Is it his gut?
It's been gutted.
For a long time when I was a kid, and I know
The first thing you do with meat is gutted.
I thought it was his goddamn hand or something. There was something about the way it was sitting and it was just covered in blood.
Yeah, I think usually when you kill something, the first thing you do is you take out the innards because you don't want the bowels and shit leaking in and ruining the meat. Because I watch a lot of hunting shows, and the first thing you do is you take out the organs.
Yeah.
And so, like the predator, like you get what we don't know the exact time difference from when Hawkins gets killed to when Poncho.
Blaine.
No, Poncho's the first one there because Blaine gets killed later on.
Sorry, no, I thought you were talking about the next day.
No, because remember Poncho finds it there, and he's like, go fight Hawkins or something. The worst Arnold Schwarzenegger impersonation. A little bit Scottish, but you know, and like, so Poncho goes looking, and that's when he sees the gut pile. So we don't know the time difference from when Hawkins gets killed and when Poncho finds Anna. So if the Predator had 10, 15 minutes...
She's not running anymore.
Exactly. And so, because Arnold Schwarzenegger goes, find me Hawkins now or something, and he finds his gear first, follows it through, and then pulls back trees, and then finds the gut pile, and then he comes back, and Arnold Schwarzenegger's like, where's Hawkins? And he goes, no, did you find Hawkins? He goes, I can't tell, or some shit.
Oh, yeah. The dialogue.
Yeah, it's so good. No, because I love the scenes, you know, when they do cut down half the rainforest after Blaine gets killed. Poncho goes out to track again, and he comes back, and he's like, there's nothing for 400 yards. It's like nothing could have survived that, nothing human anyway. And it's just like hinting at little things like that, like without
nothing
actually
human. Maybe an alien hunter of some description.
No, but it's the kind of thing you'd say though. It's just not human survives that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Nothing human you couldn't have flown away.
It's like when you only jumped out off a big height. Nothing human survived that fall.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of thing. Like, you know,
anything over 60
just
feet,
a turn of phrase. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you would be right.
Yeah, I think he's nearly saying like, we probably killed someone. I'm just not finding them. I don't see anything out here. Literally, we should have killed someone for the amount of ammo we dropped.
Which leads us very organically into the next great line where they find some blood in one leaf.
No, Anna finds the blood and hides it.
Yes.
She doesn't say it first. She wipes it on her combats. And it's later on, after they start understanding that they're actually being picked off one at a time, that she starts speaking English. Because it's actually after the Blade's body...
It's great when she starts speaking
English. I love it. Stop your bullshit! And the Carl Weathers' face behind him.
And the stomach grow very hot.
Oh, she's so fucking good. And she says nothing but terrifying stuff. Why
is she surviving? She's just that fucking ominous character.
The devil that makes trophies of men. I'm like, dude, just make her speak Spanish again. Because she's terrifying me over here.
Get murdered by an alien.
But it's after Blaine's body gets taken that they realize that they're being hunted one at a time.
On their watch.
I love this scene, right? They're like, Mac's clearly the most unstable. His best friend's just after being murdered, right? All right, but some inexplicable way. And he goes, hey, Mac, take first watch.
Yeah. Mac, been through a lot. Give me all this responsibility.
Hey, Mac, go sit by your dead friend's body there and take first watch. You know what I mean? And this is where Mac kills the hog, the war hog, because I think the Predator actually caught that war hog and sent it in as a diversion to set off the traps.
It's a professional hunter.
Yeah, exactly.
That is exactly what it is.
And then it walks through, it takes Blaine's body. And when they come back and realize Anna hasn't run, then they realize it's not the gorillas, because if she had and she had two opportunities to run now when Hawkins was killed and when Blaine was killed, and she hasn't run now the third time when somebody's come into their camp and they'd all ran away from her to investigate what was going on with Mac. Now they know, okay, it's not a gorilla, and then there's like Blaine's body was taken, so they're like, okay, I think he's taking trophies.
But Blaine's body was also taken in an area that they had set up. And they were like...
They put up defensive perimeters, which he also got Mac to do.
It's just taken. It's just scooped up from the sky.
Do you think it's actually a good writing because he's keeping Mac busy because he's just being traumatized?
I don't know. I never thought about it. Every time I see the scene, it's always Mac talking to the stars, talking to
Blaine's body beside him.
Yeah, and you have that boom. You know that thing to play
when I find him, he's like, when I find him, I'll find him, and I'm going to call
your name.
Yeah.
I'm going.
It's like, really? We put this guy on first watch? Yeah. Maybe put him on first watch with like Hawkins to keep him laughing.
I vote first watch should be
Hawkins is dead actually.
Ends up going insane.
Yeah.
Remember that in Simpsons? You can be and Rod, you can be Todd, you can be the quite religious guy that ends up going insane.
That's the what's it called? Lord of the Flies episode, is it?
Yeah. But
yeah, so no, you're saying about the way they set up how they figure out how to kill the Predator, or how it's hunting them.
You know, it's revealed that they did hit it. It can't be. Also, Dutch figures out. Arnold Schwarzenegger's Dutch figures out he's using the trees.
Yeah, because I think as well, because before that, it's in Billy obsessed with the trees before. I love the way Billy
He's
slowly.
always staring off into space.
Yeah, I love the way Billy slowly goes insane, and he's the best. Like Billy's, as I said to you earlier, he's the barometer of how bad shit is going down. Because like the first discovery is Jim Hopper's body, his man, and they're like
3 bodies hanging from a fucking tree.
doesn't look like any transport bird to me. It looks like a surveillance.
About how good this
Yeah, you know, the way to build it, because like you're like, okay, first of all, like the mission's a lie. All right, that's bad enough. The mission's a lie, and you're like, all right, Dylan, what's going on? And go, oh, I don't know what's going on here, Dutch. And we're like, oh, maybe Dylan does know what's going on. He's just a middleman. Like, and we're like, why are we finding like American fucking boots? And we're like, okay, Billy, let's follow these tracks. And then like Billy fucking follows the tracks, and then he hears something in the trees, the birds. And then he finds Jim Hopper's men, do you remember? And they're like all skinned. And like straight away they're like, gorilla, why would gorilla skin them? Why did he skin them? And the first time I seen that, I was like, gorillas skin people? Because I thought they were talking about the animals. Because I was like 10 or 11 years old. Yeah. I was like 10 or 11 when I seen this. I was like, gorillas skin people? What the fuck? Well, can we concentrate on this and not the alien thing? Because I think this is more pertinent. Because aliens aren't real. Gorillas are real people and they're skinning people. You know what I mean?
I'm sorry, so slight story. I went to the Horrorthon that's beyond Dublin, and I used to go to it all the time. But I got my fiance who's in the room with me now, Sheila.
George. Hey George,
who's waving?
Waving in all. This is an all audio format, and she's currently waving silently, with the rain, but waving silently. But this is why they're not on the show.
I couldn't get her tickets for that. That was one of the films that sold out. So I had a genius plan, and it was give Sheila my ticket, let her go in, and then I had the entire weekend pass.
Yeah.
And I'm like, where is my Predator ticket? I don't know. I must have misplaced it.
Yeah.
And I remember the woman who gave me the 5th degree, and I remember thinking I would rather be up against the Predator. This was a terrible idea.
Yeah.
Because she stripped me down. But to actually finally get in and sit down, and I saw the Predator in the cinema.
Yeah, I've only seen 2 Predators in the cinema, and that's Predators and Predator.
Exactly,
the
that's
ones
what
we
I mean.
talked about
To
in the second half of the show.
See it in that format was just fantastic, because I was just being in a room with people that were just like, get to the chopper and stuff. It was a fantastic. It's like what the Rocky Horror Picture Show is, because you forget people have seen this movie, man.
Yeah,
people have seen this movie to death, and together when you're in a room full of people like that, the energy's fantastic.
Yeah, and all, like, cause I would love to see The Thing or something like that in the cinema.
Oh yeah,
like, cause I was actually, when I was making the cheat sheet for this, I was like June 12th or something, 19 something came out.
I was looking at the cheat sheet.
And anytime like when we do like a real legendary movies, like 1987, year I was born, the year of the Vinnie. June 12th though, I was like, I wonder what that would be like. Imagine going to cinema for the first time. And because when I seen The Predator, I was a kid, but like I had my brother William, Lord of Mercy, and then like he pretty much told me about all these movies. You know what I mean? Like all the like 18 rated movies. And I say to you, I seen this movie when I was 10. It's because my brother William showed it to me, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when I seen this movie, I'd heard it was a good film beforehand. But imagine going in and not knowing about Predator and seeing one of the greatest science fiction movies of all time with no knowledge, or seeing The Thing and appreciating
clever,
it, like, you know,
wasn't it? Because it wasn't about like an alien invasion and we fight them back. No, we never stood a chance against them. But their actual motives aren't like our location. Just game.
But you don't even see the Predator outside of camouflage until the last 25 minutes of the movie. Man, if you watch this movie, more of the movie is about the mental assault on the group of soldiers than the physical assault. You know what I mean? Because, like, we go 25 minutes, half an hour maybe before Hawkins dies, then Blaine dies shortly after, and then there's no deaths till the run-in. Like, there's no deaths.
Because then they set up that then if the police can kill it using the trees, all that kind of shit. And then there's a lot of scenes where you show Dylan and Arnie Dutch, where the kind of really fit, and there's the scenes of them like lifting, and there's just muscles.
Yeah,
it's like, you know, it is like the Predator version of Sylvester Stallone running on the beach again with Dylan.
You know? But I love as well. Like, do you remember earlier on when they do the famous line where, like, you know, bullshit Billy, you ain't afraid of no man. It's like something waiting out there for his poncho. There ain't no man. And but do you remember Dylan's reaction to that? Because he's like, he's the guy that's trying to hold on to the logical part of the whole mission.
Yeah.
And he was like, your man's losing it, Dutch. Your man's losing it, Dutch. And he's like, it's a bullshit psych job. There's only 2-3 guys out there the most. And like the whole way through it, he's just like constantly like trying to make reason of it. Like, you know what I mean?
And when he gets his arm blown off by a plasma ball, and then an alien
Yeah.
in
He
camouflage
doesn't
comes up behind him and spears him. He's kind of going, nah,
Yeah.
two, three dudes fucking with me
It's
now
a
at this
bullshit
point.
psych job, but he doesn't really.
Bullshit psych job. As he died, that should have been what he said.
But I don't think he actually truly believes that the Predator is real until Max shows him in that scene where he goes, trees. And he goes, I see him. And it's like it's actually him realizing I actually see him, like, you know what I mean? Like, because
Max that again was great because Mac is trying to sneak up on him, but Mac hasn't. They haven't figured out. At this point, they figured out that he's using the trees. He's camouflage and they can bleed.
Yeah,
but they haven't figured out that he uses thermal imagery.
Yeah.
So you like hide.
Heat seekers, Dylan. Pretty advanced for gorillas, Dylan. You're going to see all. You're going to hear all the bad Arnold Schwarzenegger impersonations.
Go. When are the bad ones coming? When are you going to stop fucking nailing it?
Don't make me laugh up here in my mouth. I nearly shot my load.
But this, just to get closer out to the run-in, once the kind of Poncho gets injured by one of their own traps.
My ear just blocked.
And they try to escape, and at this point you've got...
Poncho gets shot. What happens is Poncho
takes a huge tree trunk.
Actually, he actually doesn't. It's not by one of the traps, and he actually doesn't get shot. What happens is, do you remember when they set up the traps, and in the Latina one, Anna, who says, as I said, says nothing but terrifying things. As soon as she starts speaking English, she's like,
I like to think since 1987 in her real life, that's all she's been doing.
Oh man, my ear, my ear will pop. Oh, there it is. My ear wouldn't pop. And that's what was happening there.
She had that for a couple of days.
Oh, it's worse. I had it in Amsterdam for 3 days. The worst. And it popped on the airplane on the way home. It was excruciating, but amazing. I was like, oh, I can hear again. Yay. Yeah. So pretty much what they do is they set up the one Anna, right? This is the first one. The first thing she says in English, right? And I love this scene. It's one of my favorite scenes where they focus out, right? It's pretty much, it's Anna in the forefront of the shot. And then behind her is Arnold Schwarzenegger and Carl Weathers, like two real hardy motherfuckers, right? And then she starts saying the most terrifying shit ever. Like she's like, my elders say, in the summers when the years grow hot, that our men they start finding them skinned, and in this year it grows very hot.
Yeah.
We have a name for this, and just like, and she says something in Spanish, it's like El Diablo or something. It's hombres or something, and she goes, which means the devil that makes trophies of men. And I'd be like, shut that bitch up right now. She is terrible for morale.
It's like that thing in Rick and Morty. Men, you're all missing an obvious solution and just shoot themselves in the head.
Like seriously, if I'm in the middle of the jungle and I'm being hunted by something I can't explain, and this bitch starts saying, oh yeah, this year it grows hot, and I'm like, what is this fucking? Who said she could speak? Someone kill her.
My fucking part is you could just walk out if you weren't armed. I love the fact that it's about not knowing what the name of the game was. You could literally just drop your weapon and go for a stroll, and you would have all got out there alive, because you would have been to something like the Predator. You would have been nothing more than deer or hog or whatever. It would have been nothing to him.
But what does Billy say about that valley though? I won't wish it on a dead duck dog or something.
Oh god, yeah.
Dead dick dog or something, because it's supposed to be like horrendous
Tied
trade.
in deeper than the Alabama tick.
Yeah. Oh no, that was when they shot the gorillas.
I know, but there was an Americanism.
That was actually right before the I don't got time to bleed. And he goes, you've got time to duck, and then he he shoots up grenades from his M16. Pom like that, like Poncho shoots up.
What a fucking film. I know, like, this just goes without saying, we've already said, what a fucking film. And I think the film, when I'm thinking about it now, it's so boxed in a good way. It's just kind of about the team. Yeah. It doesn't start drifting off into kind of like...
That's the problem. When they start expanding the universe, it doesn't need explaining.
It's like, they're going after my son, and then you have to get ragtag team of rejects.
Are you talking about Mercury Rising versus Predator?
Yeah, exactly. But I just thought it was so boxed in. When you said it was the kind of mental onslaught, that really struck me.
Right. The first time, right, the run through after, like, my favorite scene and one of my favorite scenes, the whole thing is with Jim Hopper's body and the ramifications after they find his team. They're like, is talking about how they walked into something. He goes, I use like an ambush, Major, and he's like, Jim Hopper walking into an ambush. I don't see that, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Because you're talking about
respect for him, genuine respect.
We're the best. These guys are the second best, because that's why they were asked. before us. You know what I mean? Like, they obviously wanted Dutch's guys. That was always, but he just knew, I don't do this kind of work, Dylan. We're a rescue team, we're not assassins. Flawless.
Flawless.
Yeah.
Do CIA got to pushing too many pencils? That's the line.
What's wrong, Dylan? CIA got to pushing too many pencils. No, he says it during that.
Jesus, the biceps.
Yeah.
Like, gee, I mean, I'm straight.
That's so
I'm
iconic.
straight, I'm not fucking sure.
Yeah, I was his bench is his muscular vein.
Yeah.
Like the veiny dick.
Yeah, I mean...
Do you remember Always Sunny in Philadelphia, the invitations to their house? Do you ever watch Always Sunny?
Yeah.
It's like, dude, should we make it veinier? No, but like, there's so many iconic scenes out though. You have the handshake, get to the chopper, and then you have, if bleeds, we kill it. I ain't got time to bleed. Like, there's so many quotable. Like, it's one of the most quotable films of all time. Like, you know what I mean? Bullshit, Billy, you ain't afraid of no man. You know what I mean? Like,
it was I always saw whatever he said just after the mud, just after when he's covered himself, and he realizes that the predator's sight is obviously not based on what there, because he was just sitting there.
Yeah.
I always thought that realization where he just kind of says an internal thought out loud, I always thought was lost in the fray, because it's not this like really cool line delivered with an audience. It was just, it was
a pivotal moment.
Like, yeah, it was just like
when he figures out the
now, because at this stage, what have I figured out? I figured out that it probably won't kill you if you don't have weapons, but at this point, he doesn't give a fuck.
No sport.
He's killed his entire team. He's killing it.
Yeah. Well, sure, he has to kill him.
Oh, at that point, yeah, he has to.
What did they say? It's like Dylan's like, we walk out here, the helicopter's only 12 kilometers away, or some shit like that, and he goes, Dylan, if we don't make a stand, there'll be no one left to reach the chopper. Nailed it.
Like, if I was there,
once again, Swish all net, Austrian net. Damn it!
In the version where yeah, that's okay.
Radio theatre.
In the version where it's me that survives last, and I'm covered in mud, and the predator comes, and I realise he can't see me because my heat signature is high. All I know is like 25 years later, somebody finds a muddy skeleton because I'm like, he can't see me. I'm like, cool.
just like all crusted shit all over me.
Like, just atrophied. Yeah. Because I'm not going after this fucking thing. But the fucking scene where suddenly Dutch is hunting the predator. Yeah. That's why, I'm sorry, Die Hard, I don't care if you're coming at me. I don't even care if you're coming at me with Terminator 2. Oh, we got controversial in this house.
What, you think that's the best Arnold Schwarzenegger film?
It's the best Arnold Schwarzenegger film.
Arnold Schwarzenegger film or science fiction film? Like science fiction.
Schwarzenegger. Yeah. I thought that was Schwarzenegger.
But like...
My fiance just nudged me to say twins.
Boo.
Wait, you don't get the boo twins. She's wrong.
She's
we
clearly
don't
wrong.
boo twins here.
No,
that's not how we roll.
I'm not booing twins. I'm just blowing. I'm not blowing twins right now. I'm just all over the place in there. No, but would you say, like, because by proxy, if you're saying it's the best Arnold Schwarzenegger science fiction film, are you by proxy saying it's the best science fiction because the only film?
I hear you. No, I hear you.
You know, because it's either Terminator 2, Predator, or Aliens or Alien.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, no, you're calling
the top 5 science fiction action movies of all time.
Have I overstepped? All I know is Terminator 2 is probably the film that made me. Yeah. But I just remember, like, I think darkness of this was just.
I think Predator is so much more unique because, like, we've all heard of killer robots coming from the future,
and Terminator 2 did that extremely well.
Yeah, and it did
extremely well.
I kicked you again, didn't I? Yeah. I kick him 6 times an episode.
Yeah. Sometimes accidental, but sometimes not.
Most of it's not accidental. What's it? Footsies.
Yeah,
playing under the table 4-year-old. MDK tickles.
MDK tickles.
That's my DJ name. MDK tickles taking it to the stage.
My DJ name is Skip Vinyl.
This guy, huh? Right, let's get back to no, but so finish off your point about the climax.
I always thought that it was great because I wouldn't go as far as to say that the tables have turned. I would say that I know there's an expression for this that is escaping me right now, but they were on a level playing field. No, and fair, the Predator had tons of advantages, but the fact of the matter is now it's Dutch who is actually hidden. You remember, like, where he he grabs onto the tree and the predator drops right beside him.
Yeah.
An amazing scene.
Yeah.
He does. It's an amazing scene because he does nothing.
Yeah.
Like amazing action scenes or something. They're always like, again, it's swords and bullets and it's like absolutely huge scale stuff. But this you could feel the tension of it's right there.
Yeah.
If it knew, it could kill you with a thought.
Yeah.
But it doesn't know.
And
you have to rely on that.
I love the way he was relegated to kind of like primitive kind of weapons.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like,
but he used some of the very last shells that he had, like the bow and arrow.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Did you see? I was watching. Did you see? Where he shoots the grenade head arrow into the bonfire, and that's how he disables the camouflage of the predator.
No,
But he kind of, when you actually look at it, what the release in the actual, it's kind of like.
Yeah.
It's just like, and then it like darts forward and hits the bonfire, but it kind of goes like literally like a 4-inch release.
What I thought about was funny was like he has like 2 grenades and he's like, I've got 2 shells here. I'm going to make 2 explosive arrows. I'm like, probably can make more. You know, he's like, I'll just pour it all out into this leaf and I just wrap it up. Maybe pour half it out too. It's still pretty explosive. You know what I mean? Like, it's gunpowder. You know, just set it on fire, dude.
Even if I was brave, it would have been so unspectacular. I would have just hid. And then when I go by me, go, yeah.
You would have wanted Goggins them.
Yeah.
You would have Goggins them, would you?
Absolutely.
Would you Goggins them, yeah? Full on Goggins?
But the run out of this film was brilliant because there's a scene where the predator takes off his mask because he realizes he's hurt him, he's been hurt by him, and it's a worthy adversary.
Yeah.
So now he's just going to fight him.
Yeah, and I think it's because he used the primitive weapons. It's like, I don't need a shoulder cannon. And I think it's maybe, I think as you said, he's the kind of, I think he might have admired the tactics.
No, he did. It was a complete mark of respect.
Yeah, it's another way, like, he pretty much, up until the point, Schwarzenegger uses his mud camouflage, and he uses the different, as you said, the heat signatures from large bonfires, or different little kind of explosions and shit around the camp.
Create diversions and create, what's the word? Like a flashbang, but an extreme version of it when your sight is based on heat.
Yeah, it's kind of like a blitzkrieg nearly. It's because kind of like you disorient him and attack him real quickly. Because that's what he was doing. He was disorienting him with the heat signatures, and then he'd like swing from tree to tree, and he was attacking him, and he was, remember, he's hitting him and shit. And like, I love that scene because like I think the predator might have admired as well what he done, because he could have killed him. Because remember, he's pretty much attacking him until the predator shoots or something, and Arnold Schwarzenegger swinging loses his grip.
He starts shooting wildly. Yeah, and this is a cool scene. And now that I'm only thinking this now in real time. But when Schwarzenegger hits him and he starts firing blindly, the tables turned.
He's totally panicking because that's what they were doing.
That's what they did. And I'd never thought of that before. But it's true. Now he's just like, fuck, I just need to take this guy out. This guy is picking. Obviously, he doesn't have a team, but he's hurting me. He's
the fact he can't see him as well.
And he can't see him, so he starts shooting blind. And I think he hits a branch to Schwarzenegger's on.
Because he's swinging. Yeah, because he lands in the river.
He lands in the river.
And by camouflage.
But at this stage, you can't just like kill him unceremoniously. At this stage, he's earned your respect.
That's what I love about this next scene, because the predator could have killed him when he comes out of the river.
When the predator doesn't, when Poncho dies and Anna goes to pick up a weapon and Schwarzenegger kicks it to the ground, and he realizes no, and he doesn't kill her. He literally lets her walk out. Yeah, she's not.
He's no interest in her whatsoever.
No interest. Like, this isn't. You can't reason with it. Yeah, but it also has to think you worthy of murder. So it's not. It's by no means a serial killer. Yeah, it's a hunter. It's very.
Why do you think he didn't kill the gorillas? Totally off point.
You know what?
I just didn't get a chance because they came in.
I've stolen this point from somebody that I seen online, but somebody said like in the second Predator when he Danny Glover, Michael, because he
Harrigan.
He took an interest in him. So just because you have weapons and stuff, so fucking what? When that team showed up and completely wiped out those guys, he took an interest in that team.
It's like saying, I see a pack of dogs in the street, but if a fucking pride of lions walk by and I'm a trophy hunter, what am I going to go after?
There are a bunch of dudes that can't even see me because I've got camouflage that I could take out from the tree. Like, they're just a bunch, like, they have weapons strapped around them. They just
moved into the area as well, because they mentioned that. Remember, we see a lot of moving across the border. So they just moved into the area and they just got set up. So I think Jim Hopper's men was killed maybe even before the guerrillas moved into that area. You know what I mean? Like, because they were.
I think the Predator in Predator 2, a guy made a point that he took an interest. And because don't get me wrong, like LA 90, like again, not to jump ahead, but
Harrigan's the line.
There's weapons everywhere. You could do lots of shit. Like, but there had to be prey, and he's like, there it is. There's somebody who can give me sport. These were just a bunch of, like I said, like fair enough, they had weapons, but so what? Like, what's a weapon?
Yeah. And I think they were killed before the Predator even got a chance to kill them.
Predator these guys came in and wiped them out, and the Predator went, now we're talking.
Yeah.
Now we're up to something.
Yeah, I would love to see what happened with Jim Hopper's crew, even though it's better not knowing.
But he said Jim Hopper was like
the second best. That's the thing.
An excellent soldier.
Yeah.
So they were worth killing.
Yeah.
Rain just found something extremely funny. Share, Lorraine.
This trash talking is in the back here. In the back
Sheila, wave at the camera.
Wave for the audience.
She actually did.
No, so what did you make of like the running? So as you said, you got to turn the tables, and now like Arnold Schwarzenegger's attacking the Predator, and now he's lost his advantage of his muck camouflage, and now the Predator shows us what the real meaning of what he is all about. Really, though, he's not just about killing people indiscriminately. He's all about the best possible game, the best challenge, and this is where we see him take away all of his own advantages. He couldn't kill Schwarzenegger when he comes out of the river because he pins him with his like that kind of spiky fork. And he could have stabbed him to death there. You know what I mean? And what he do is he lets him up.
Adam.
Exactly. So he lets him up, and he does this kind of thing. What I love about it is like something like an animal would do, do you know, like when animals fight each other and they snort or they growl or they puff out their chest? What the Predator does here is takes off the shoulder cannon, takes off his mask, throws him to the ground. And the first thing he does is goes, like it's kind of like the kind of and he like spreads out.
The Predator was a monster at that time. Like,
that's what I love about
it. Was a horror film to me at the time.
Pure animalistic.
It really was like it was a horror film. And I know, and to this day I don't get too. I don't like living the grey so much that like, oh well, it wasn't paranormal, as in like Jason Voorhees, you could stab him through the heart and that will put him down for about 20 seconds and then he's back up. That's horror. That's supernatural. There was obviously
this is way scarier.
But that guy was a monster.
Anybody can kill campers.
Monster.
Man, Ted Bundy kills like multiple people. Well,
exactly. Yeah.
You put Ted Bundy in the jungle against Green Berets.
Fucking, he's nothing.
Exactly.
Nothing.
You know what I mean?
Gigantic bitch boy. A bully who's all that fucking motherfucker.
This is what I call is real horror. It's like you know what I mean? It's
rotten piss. Sorry, you know what? Controversial. Not a big Ted Bundy fan.
Allegedly, he wasn't a good guy.
Yeah.
Allegedly, I'm going to cover us on the legal side of things. Well, Bundy's family be coming for me. It's okay. I'm not a small woman. I should be okay. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But what did you make of the final battle?
The final, like where he had set up a couple of traps, I thought was really clever because he knew even. I think he had figured him out at that stage that if he lured him in a certain way, that he wouldn't. If he offered himself, like Billy did it, but Billy died.
Well, Billy, I think was just he lost it.
He lost it.
Was Billy fighting him, or did Billy just?
Billy was
give
just
up?
standing on a log. I mean,
we didn't see that fight. We never
saw it, which was great.
Yeah, he screams like
that faint scream. Echoing scream.
That fucking part though. Remember that because they're like he's carrying Poncho out, and Anna and they're climbing up. Remember? Let's arm.
Criticism of this film, I thought it was like, I mean, it blew the body out of Blaine getting hit by that plasma, but like Poncho just seems to get hit in the side of the head and just drop. I mean, it was.
Yeah, Schwarzenegger gets hit in the arm and he's got no wound whatsoever.
Yeah, he has a singe there for a while or something.
Yeah, and he wiped it off in the river or something. Like, I just don't understand that. Just give him a wound for the rest of the movie.
He landed in magic mud, man. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, but so like we see now that the Predator and the final showdown. So it's just like kind of the fist fight. I love that when Schwarzenegger punches him. And the Predator just looks at him. Yeah. He's like, did you just hear me, dude? And he's like backhands him.
But I love when he picks Schwarzenegger up and he looks at him. And see, I think at this stage his vision without the tech, I think
worse.
His vision is worse. It's basically movement based or something.
It's still heat vision, isn't it?
No, it's not. But it's not thermal.
Yeah, no, it is, isn't it?
It's not. It almost feels like a full red, and you can almost see kind of Schwarzenegger's skull.
Because when he's beating him up through the, and he's like, that part's really unsettling. Because do you think Schwarzenegger was like, I don't want anyone see me getting beaten up on camera?
Yeah. But then of course he kicks the shit out of him, and Schwarzenegger kind of like crawls into one of his own traps.
Do it, kill me,
kill me now,
do it,
kill me now. Bob was flawless. Yeah, that wasn't an excerpt from the movie. So
no, don't.
We actually
no
did that
cease and desist letters. No cease and desist letters.
We did that ourselves.
Yeah.
But then, of
Nailed
course, he
it.
comes in, hits him in the head bonks him. There, I said it. Finishes him with a bonk.
Bonks him. He drops a deadfall on him.
Yeah, and it bonks him.
Rule of thumb of the deadfall is the target weight is 5 times more than...
Yeah.
Adrian Brody.
But fucking... and then the Predator, of course, sets off his bomb, but it's okay. If you jump it's a mini
Billy's
nuke,
laugh.
but if you jump at the right time, safe.
I love the way he understands context of English. Like, he uses turn around in the correct context. Turn around. Over here. Like, do you remember that? I thought that
was
scene...
so scary.
My only problem with that scene
That's what I'm
is...
talking about, the
Do
horror
you think, though, in that scene... Do you know when
beautiful.
Dylan finds... he sees Mac and says... And then he hears the voice. I think he should have heard the voice, then seen Mac, then heard the voice again. So I think he should have heard the voice, think Mac's alive, and then see Mac's dead. And then he's like, what the fuck? Then hears the voice again.
They tried to
You
do
know
that
what I mean?
in
Like,
the Predator kind of with Danny Trejo, and it was stupid.
I'll fight you right now if you want to go.
Fair enough.
Sheila, attack! Attack! Now's the time!
Warriors!
Give him the leak slip handshake! He's like, smash!
Somebody in Leaks where my Sheila is from.
Sheila.
Punched my car once.
She's my Sheila.
There was a
Aye, she's
fight
my
going on in
Sheila.
the streets. I tried to drive around. A dude just ran out of nowhere and punched my car. Like the physical car. And I was just like, yeah.
Do you know the way you said...
Oh, because Portleash is so fancy.
Yeah,
We have no scumbags here.
Yeah, but we just don't punch cars. We punch people. We got
we
class.
punch people. No, I'm talking about...
We're like predators. We want to fight.
I'm talking about the point of violence. Not the amount.
But one thing before we fuck off from Predator on to Predator 2, I want to say to you, what you think of Jean-Claude Van Damme nearly playing the Predator, and he did some test screenings in a different suit, and I had this pretty much had this red suit on him because they wanted that the pretty much for the camouflage to show up the way it did. You know, the way he bends light and stuff. It's magnificent, isn't it? That's what Keith says in part 2.
Yeah.
And do you know the way he bends lights? Pretty much he went and did the test screenings, and I think it might have been before the suit was actually finalized, before another iconic look. There was like this other stupid looking thing, and it was all red because that's what the camouflage entailed for those scenes. And he turned down the role. What do you think would have been? Like, do you think would have been a lot of splits in the trees?
Yeah.
Like the Predator, like, where is he? Through the trees to see him, and you see the Predator doing splits between the two parts. Just like
wearing denim. Just completely camouflaged from the waist up, and
you
just Levi's from the fucking waist
You just see a denim jacket floating in the trees, like Predator sweating balls.
No. I don't
It was Kevin Peter Hall that played the Predator.
Kevin Peter Hall, who we lost far too soon. Harrigan Henderson's died in the early 90s of AIDS. Absolutely fucking tragic. What a career he could have had. Well, he was just brilliant in this, and credit to him.
Fucking hell, yeah, rest in peace. And I was just like, I'm looking through here, Sonny Landon, man, I see a picture of him. He looks so fucking old. He looks like Christopher Walken. Did you see that picture on the cheat sheet?
Yeah, I was the same picture, man.
I know, I made the cheat sheet.
Yeah, that's kind of the point I'm making.
Yeah, you lazy son of a bitch. When's the last time you made cheat sheets, Noel? This fucking guy. Never.
Noel, did you make the cheat sheet? Turn around.
No, but I think...
When will you make it? Anytime.
But it's a fucking awesome movie, and
it's a 10 out of 10 movie.
Do you have anything else to say about like Van Damme, or we would just move into?
No, it's hilarious, but Predator. I don't know if it would have worked or not. Like, again, we can make all the jokes we want. All I know is I'm glad it worked out the way it did.
Yeah,
because it's a perfect movie.
Yeah,
and it's downhill from here. Not like
straight away.
Not a 90-degree drop by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah,
but this is peak.
Yeah,
this is peak.
It's one of the greatest science fiction movies of all time.
Yeah, I don't know.
Top 5 is probably Predator, Aliens, Terminator 1, and Terminator 2.
Oh, that's good. That's solid.
Would you say there's anything better than that in terms of action science fiction?
I think you could mix them around, and of course, everyone's
like I'm just saying 5 in no particular order, but they're
in no
5.
particular order. Yeah, fantastic list.
Yeah, because I can sit on the fence that way. Even though we don't allow fence sitting over here. Even though that's against the rules over here at MDK. No fence sitting. Right, Noel. So I'm going to scroll down the cheat sheet here, leave a bit of dead air just to annoy people. Dead air.
Dead air.
Dead air.
Dead air.
Dead air.
Dead air.
Dead air. Dead air. Dead air. Dead air. So no, right? We've already gone through Predator 1. We've or Predator, but like it's fucking iconic. Like we could quote it like a motherfucker. Like I know we watched it just the other day, but even if we hadn't, we already said. Remember, we had a discussion about this there a couple of weeks ago. We could have gone up and done 60 minutes on Predator. I mean, you can quote Predator like a motherfucker all day, every day. Right? Not a part of like even if we hadn't watched the last Tuesday, we said we could do 60 minutes on it. Iconic movie, iconic design, iconic cast, iconic premise, everything about it flawless. What's the problem with making something flawless first time around? It's a motherfucker to follow it up.
Oh my god!
And this is the problem that Predator 2 faced.
But they did one thing right, and that was not try and recreate.
Yeah. Same writers as well.
Yeah,
the Thomas brothers, Jim and John Thomas, who created the Predator characters.
They took a completely different approach to it. Actually, it was only 3 years later, but they based it in 1997.
Yeah, it's a 7-year time jump.
Oh no, it's a 10-year, 87 to.
No, I mean from its actual present day. You know what I mean, like.
And they made it like whatever urban. They made it whatever.
Sights, the laser sights in those guns, man. Fuck me. And like, it's funny because. I'm in these groups on Facebook, and somebody posted that recently, like today I think it was, talking about the laser sights in Predator 2, and I only rewatched it like the day before yesterday, and I was like, this guy knows. And some guys like actually showing real pictures of laser sights that actually look nearly identical to that, and because they were trying to make it more like futuristic, like, you know what I mean? Like, Sheila, have you got tones out there or what the fuck? Sheila's selling ice cream. Sheila's selling ice cream in the background here. 1 second.
I'm actually a bit embarrassed by Sheila selling ice cream here.
Yeah, Sheila, what's going on here? Put the icebergers down, Sheila. No.
Do other countries have 99?
If they don't, you're missing out. Is all I'm saying. Other countries. Do you remember, like, this is how bad, right? We're living through a pandemic, and the big news at the start of the summer was there's going to be a shortage of flakes. Do you remember that?
But there was never a shortage.
Never a shortage of flakes. Like, come on, like, what? We big flake. We don't understand what's going on. You're trying to hike up the market. Like, come on. Big fucking chocolate out there trying to fucking lure us all in, buy more flakes.
This is what Big Cadbury wants.
This exactly, man. There's going to be a run on the fucking ice cream trucks. You know what I mean? Like, you know, they're going to top of the ice cream market. That's all I'm saying. Like, man, like, I tell you, like, anybody who's listened to this podcast has heard that motherfucking ice cream truck at least 5 times in previous recordings.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and I
never come on a sunny day.
No, he'll still could come until about November. This motherfucker, persistence.
No, they will purposely come in December.
Yeah,
piss and rain.
Yeah, and I'll be out there because no kids. You know what I mean? I'm not waiting in the queue for 99 mid-December.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. There's a queue, not me there. You know what I'm saying? Not me there.
No kids, 99. Kids, 69. Put that out.
Oh my god. Let me take the time on that. Oh my god. Oh, 102, Carl. If we ever want to have another show after this, fuck me.
That joke couldn't. Sorry, you popped into.
All I want to say is, Sheila, control your man. No, but no, what you think? Like the hardest thing about having such a good movie first time out is trying to follow it up. And as you said, they tried to change up a lot of things. They changed the setting. They jumped it into like it was made in 1990, but they jumped in 97, 96.
It was made in 1990. They jumped to 97.
Kind of like
10 years.
Yeah, 10 years from
the
Predator
first
1.
film. Yeah.
Yeah. And what did you think of the setting change? The difference from like having a what's the word I'm looking for? Like a commando team going in there into the jungle, like, you know, on this fucking supposed rescue mission.
Well, this actually
the concrete jungle.
Los Angeles was kind of on fire at the time between the Mekong cartel and the Colombian cartel. There was obviously a war, so the Predator.
What, in real life? Or just in this?
In this.
Or
and they were spoiled for choice. And obviously the cops were fighting with. By the way, amazing opening scene.
In the fucking ice cream truck.
I know.
But amazing. It's
like incredible opening scene.
Yeah.
Like, just, I don't want to, I know it's the opening scene, it's very easy to glaze by it, but it was iconic, it was excellent, it had exploding car, it had lots of gunfire, it had Scorpio,
Yeah.
fucking getting high.
El Scorpio.
El Scorpio.
Yeah.
It was
Rest in peace, El Scorpio.
Absolutely phenomenal. But this was when you were so spoiled. You know what I mean? It's like if all of your favorite films are on at once and you have to pick one. You just have to because you can't watch. So I think that opening scene was just a Predator going, "Wow, my cup does floweth over." And then he realized, like early on, that Mike Hannigan,
Hartigan.
Harrigan was one to watch because he had
Harrigan.
an
Sorry,
amazing scene where
Mike Harrigan,
where he's hanging out with the car and he's driving. It's Glover at his best.
Yeah,
and it's Glover like because Lethal Weapon.
He shows quite clearly and quite quickly in this movie that he is not too old for this shit.
No.
I just want to put that statement out there.
He was right in the fucking sweet spot for this shit.
Yeah, he seems to enjoy this shit more than the other shit, which makes me think the shit that he did not enjoy that he claimed to be too old for was mainly because he didn't like Mel Gibson.
Yeah. Fuck realizations. Yeah. But,
he's like, give me Riggs or Killer Alien. I'll take the Killer Alien.
Busey in a film with him as well, who shows up later. Yeah. Busey being the bad guy, the first
in Lethal Weapon 2.
Only like a year.
Mr.
or two,
Joshua.
Like even like a year or two ago.
Yeah.
It's a very strange thing.
It's part 1 and part 2.
He's part 1. Busey was 100% part 1.
South Africans in part 2.
South Africans is part 2.
Yeah, it's been revoked.
It's been revoked, exactly. But
you don't use that
I just thought he was so cool. I respected him so much this because I thought, like, he said, right, look at this absolute muscle-bound huge, like, gets like right into their guerrilla warfare, takes out with alien. He goes, I'm not doing any of that.
Yeah.
And he just did not try to replicate a single thing from the first film. And I thought the third and fourth film tried to capture it.
Do you think, sorry for going across you, that it's the heat wave that attracts
100%, yeah.
The heat wave attracts the predator, and what moments of heat waves there's increase in violence, and it just
no. This was obviously they can monitor from space.
But you remember what Anna says?
This was like I mean they analyzed, and he thought I actually read a comic series on this, and the Predator's mask from the first one obviously sends all the data back to a ship, and another Predator was so enticed by somebody like Dutch that he wanted to try his own hand at it, because dying isn't a big deal to them as long as you die right.
Die with honor.
What
they call a beautiful death, the Spartans.
A beautiful death, yeah. But he wanted some of that, and he was an extremely accomplished hunter. So he went, obviously he was just like, yes, this is hot enough, and there is enough violence, and there's enough possibility and enough of a challenge, because it's a little bit harder to hide in the city. So
that's what I was thinking as well.
That was it.
And it can be easier though.
Oh yeah, exactly. Depending on how you do it.
Depends on how it really.
Like, but moving between sky rises where you can't exactly fall or anything like that.
Do you think it's a case of predators are willing to hunt in any kind of landscape?
A survivable landscape. That's all it is. Like they don't deal with the cold. I've actually read some comics where
AVP solid movie #solid movie.
Yeah, but that was it. Fucking
a #solid movie, man. Like it's an extremely solid movie.
I'm
going to stand by it. It's an extremely solid movie. It's like it has aliens and it versus a predator. How can it be a bad movie? How could they have gotten it wrong?
It was
How could they have gotten it wrong twice? Never happened. 2 solid movies. Guaranteed solid movies.
I walked out with that film like genuinely upset. And I remember I was with Mark Healy and a couple of other guys, and I was just like, no, it's cool, let's go to the pub and stuff. I remember Mark saying, you alright now? And I said, yeah, no, I'm cool. But I was genuinely
it's like X-Men 3 or Iron Man 3, like
worse.
How do you get that wrong? Like you dream of that when you're a kid, like a xenomorph versus a predator. It's like impossible to get wrong.
Not sure if I'm ready for that. I don't. I'm after watching all the Predators back to back. I'm after watching all the Predators back to back, and I think it's a little bit raw for me at the moment. Predator 2 tried to increase the scale in a very organic manner, because why not? It wasn't like they started introducing all these like completely new elements to just try and like sell toys in the kind of Dragon Ball way, or the fucking...
Man, one of my pride and joys when I was a kid was a Predator action figure. Fuck me. That was awesome. Let's go put it out there.
Is it here?
I don't have a Predator.
No, it's Xenomorph.
Xenomorphs over there, Lorraine. Jesus. No, you don't.
Yeah,
oh my God, Jesus. It's what they do. It's what they do.
It saves yourself.
Save the big head.
But,
pass it to the Sheila-morph.
But I love this movie. I never understood the hate this movie got. I remember watching this movie as a kid going, this movie is not as good as the first one. But so what?
Yeah.
Like I mean, if you
It
have
doesn't
a
try to
film-
be the first one's what you said earlier.
Exactly.
Like,
So what if you have a 5-star film and it's like, oh no, I'm not going to sit down and watch a 4.5-star film or even a 4-star film or whatever. This was a fucking damn entertaining film. The violence was top notch. The action scenes were excellent.
Would you say the first movie is kind of like Platoon or Apocalypse Now with an alien, like a alien predator in it?
Oh, hugely.
And the second one's like Lethal Weapon.
Because it had psychological. Oh, that's a good way.
You know what I mean?
First one, like you said, had a psychological onslaught.
Yeah.
It was really tense. The second one, Glover.
Because it's kind of like in the way of Apocalypse Now, it's kind of like in the Predator, they were making their own journey into the hard dark.
But there was a detective kind of aspect to the
great
second
book,
one,
Joseph Conrad as well.
Yeah,
it's right there on my shelf.
There was a detective aspect to the second one as well. He was genuinely trying to figure.
It's like they were hunting a serial killer,
yeah,
or a gangland killing or something.
And I loved when Busey
they should
kind of
do
showed up and he explained to him he was way too close. Keys. He explained to him that he's way too close. That 10 years ago in the Guatemalan jungle,
yeah,
and blah blah blah, and he explained all.
I love how intense Gary Busey is, though.
I love that when Gary Busey gets chopped in half by a flying disc.
No, it's like a spinning rotisserie blade.
I don't know if it spins. It seems to just very cleanly.
It is. It's kind of like made up of multiple blades, though, isn't it?
Yeah. But like Gary Busey gets chopped in half, and for some reason the top half of his body doesn't drop.
Yeah,
because you're seeing
Gary Busey, man.
all the slabs of meat in the slaughterhouse.
Yeah,
and his feet just like drop and bleed out. I'm like, why would the top half not fall? It's not hooked up to anything. Fall.
What? So the feet falls and then the body falls a couple of
Body
seconds.
doesn't. I don't see the body fall. I watched it again today. I don't see the body fall.
Seriously?
Yeah. Another thing, not to joke. You know the fucking stupid fucking Shane Black version where the predator sticks the thumb.
Yeah.
He picks up a fucking left hand and puts in a right hand. He picks up a left hand with the thumb.
Man,
here.
as you know, my opinions on Shane Black is he's a talented director. He makes solid movies. You know what I mean? He's just like, it's what he does. You know what I mean? It's like Shane Black guarantees, you put the alcohol behind that laptop, do I have to threaten to drop kick you on air one more time?
Predator versus My Heart. It should be the next one. Because,
the next one sounds interesting, but we'll leave that till the very end in closing, like we spoke with the No Holly.
The second one had some great scenes. It had Bill Paxton kind of tune up the scenery. But
the
Bill
Lone
Paxton
Ranger
became the only actor in the world
of
all time who was killed by a xenomorphic predator and a Terminator.
Lance Henriksen.
I know you do this shit to me.
That was disproven, dude. Get with the program.
Lance Henderson.
His name is Jerry Lambert, the Lone Ranger.
Took my fucking balls.
Because he played Bishop, got killed by a xenomorph. He was also an AVP where he played Wayland, and he got killed by a predator.
When was he killed by a Terminator?
He was killed by a Terminator in Terminator 1 because he was a cop. Suck my nuts. So pretty much Bill Paxton, what was that? You were sucking my nuts, right?
I was actually. Yeah. Deeply gagging on balls. I give it 3 ball
Remember when
gargles.
he kills 3 ball gargles. But he kills the whole police station pretty much. I love that fucking scene. It's where we get the I'll be back, you know what I mean? But we have to do the Terminator franchise sometime as well.
Obviously.
But so what you make of the new cast in place of the fucking ragtag bunch, as you said, of commandos that were sent into the Guatemalan jungle? We have Bill Paxton. We have what's his fucking name? The guy who plays Danny Archuleta is actually Ruben Blades. Have you ever seen Fear the Walking Dead? His name is actually Daniel, and that's Daniel Salazar. Do you remember him in this?
Ruben Blades, yeah, of course, yeah, he was the sidekick, very much so the sidekick.
Man, one thing I love about this, do you remember the scene where pretty much the opening you touched on where, just because we don't want to blaze out that opening because you said it's savage, right? So we get Harrigan's introduction. There's a fucking big massive gunfight. There's 2 officers down injured, and he comes in, guns blazing. He's like, he gets his car. Remember, you could cover one window with bulletproof vests. Right, leave the windscreen completely unprotected, where he'll be sitting. All right, and then he knocks the door off his car. Do you remember? And then he drives in, saves the 2 guys, and then they all run in after El Scorpio's gang, the Colombians, and then they follow him in. And what you make of the scene where they follow the drug lords in?
El Scorpio is the Scorpion.
We're bilingual here. We're just bilingual here. It's what we do.
Yeah.
You know, El Español. we're big in the Spanish communities, is all we're saying.
Yeah.
It's big, you know what I mean? El Grande. Thankfully, I knew what that was.
Yeah. Other podcasts have Latin on us.
I'm clearing this bad joke from my throat because he shot his load in my face.
I'm having a Hispanic attack.
Better. But what you make of the new crew? So you got like Jerry Lambert, Bill Paxton. You got
I loved everyone in the new crew because there was
Maria
nothing like,
Conchita Alonso.
but it's not like you're no Mac or you're no Poncho. There was nothing. There wasn't a hint of it.
Yeah, you keep away from any direct
They
comparisons.
were completely ignorant to anything that even gone down because that was like obviously so far beyond classified. They were just a new team. That's all they were, and obviously they weren't even like setting up the same kind of dynamics.
Yeah,
to be heroes or to who dies first. They seemed like very much so just caught up in something they can't possibly understand. And obviously there was more chaos in the second film.
Yeah,
because there was a cartel war. And the cartels were also getting taken out by the Predator.
I don't know who he is, but I know where he is. On the other side.
Fucking voodoo
magic man. Yeah, it's actually perfect because the scene I want to talk about was after the opening, right, where El Scorpio gets killed. And the scene I want to talk about is, do you remember the Colombian dude? He's banging your one. It's like that scene is like,
there's a sex scene.
Yeah, it starts off as like from a distance, and the skyscraper all hears,
and just a quite large-breasted female on top. Yeah, and he's like, man, I'll give you anything, and he's like, he's painted on his chest.
It's not about money, man. It's about power.
Yeah. And then he looks at the guy and goes, fucking voodoo magic, man. And they'll like laugh. Yeah. Fucking great scene. That's when the Predator shows up, and he introduces.
It's the second time he shows up.
It's the second time he shows up. Yeah. Sorry, he kills us
because he kills all of El Scorpio's gang.
Yeah. But he shoots that kind of blade thing. I always wonder about this because they seem to have a limitless supply of plasma blasts that they can just shoot from the shoulder cannon.
Yeah, because the
every
ships
now and again
nearby.
they shoot like blades and shit, and you're kind of going, why? Limitless blazers, just fucking use that.
Well, because of the challenge.
Because of the challenge, yeah.
Yeah.
But I loved the fucking net thing that he used in that scene. He sticks a fucking dude to a pillar with a net that just drills in. You can just see it, like it's Hellraiser-esque.
Yeah.
It just cuts into every
one thing I think the later Predators missed out on was the trophy aspect of it. Because there's a part, not to jump too far ahead, in the Predators where Lawrence Fishburne gets wiped out and he explodes.
Obliterated.
All I'm going to say is if I'm a Predator, I've been hunting you for 10 seasons, not to jump too far ahead. If I'm killing you, I'm a trophy hunter. I'm making a trophy of you like a motherfucker.
I remember actually thinking, like,
you know what I mean?
It was like his entire midsection obliterated.
Yeah.
As in a head, 2 arms, and 2 legs.
Yeah.
Like just disappeared.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's pointless.
This is what I'm saying. I think this got cheapened.
Yeah, exactly. I think just missed the point.
Yeah.
You know, which happens a lot, even in the Alien movies. Just missed the point.
Just missed the point.
Like, you know what I mean?
I call it Michael Bay.
Yeah.
Just like, what if we took...
It's not always Michael Bay, but it mostly is.
Yeah.
And all it takes is mostly.
It's mostly Michael Bay. Mostly.
Yeah.
It's just bigger, but this film didn't necessarily, in a way, for me, it didn't try to go bigger. It changed the setting, and the setting is in a way a bigger setting because obviously way more densely populated areas, less to hide behind.
Yeah,
but it was just a different setting. It wasn't like it was trying to blow its load and trying to be bigger. It was just changed it.
Just want to be different.
And you can say what you like about Predator 2. I've heard Predator 2 loved. I've heard Predator 2 hated.
Yeah.
But if you try to say that it just tried to replicate the first one, you're simply wrong.
It just gets better with age.
Yeah.
It's one of those things
but
like...
you are wrong, though.
Yeah,
like, you are wrong. That's not up for debate.
I didn't say it, Noel.
No, shut the fuck up, then.
Just trying to put words in my mouth.
I'm talking to every comment section on this film ever. I'm sorry.
No, you are right though, because like you can levy a lot of things out, but you can't say you try to replicate a formula, and that's the problem with other ones when you try to replicate a formula.
They didn't even go for these like really cool lines, and don't get me wrong, we just lauded the really cool lines of the first film, stand by all of that. But this one just like Danny Glover's character Michael, he just tried.
You shitting me? Want some candy? Want some candy?
Yeah.
Why are you saying that's not legendary? Come on, guy. Come on, guy. Turn around.
And also something where there is a really good scene where there was a woman that is armed.
Yeah.
And in the train scene where the Predator kills everyone in the train.
Yeah.
And then the last one starts.
Jerry Lambert's death scene.
Yeah.
Bill Paxton.
Bill Paxton dies in that scene. And then he closes in on a woman, and obviously she sets up all her bullets. But she's used a weapon against him. Ergo, fair game. but he realizes with his thermal imagery she's pregnant.
Yeah, because the baby's not fair game.
Yeah, and the baby's not for him.
Yeah, because the baby can't defend itself.
And then there's another scene where he's in a tree near the graveyard,
Yeah.
and there's a
What's
kid
up,
that's
Candy?
like shooting, and then he sees that the kid's weapon is definitely not
Not real.
real.
Because you can tell what it's made up of, isn't
Yeah,
it?
you can tell. The composition, obviously, if you've seen everything through a different composition, you would still probably the density or the heat it gives off, or the heat it doesn't give off.
Yeah.
He was able to tell it was a plastic weapon.
Yeah. That's
It's
why
not-
if I was a predator, I'd be like, not taking any chances.
But yeah. But the fact that you realise at this point that the predator isn't a bad guy in the classic sense.
Yeah.
Is that it's
all about the thrill of the kill, like.
Yeah, but it's so much further evolved that it's no different than what we're doing.
Yeah, that's why
It's more highly, it's stronger, it's more intelligent, it's more advanced, and it hunts you at certain seasons. That's what we do to
what
everything.
Key says. It's on safari. The lions, the tigers, the bears. Oh my! You know what I mean? Like that's all we are.
And you realise if that
we're long pig
because they're the rules that we set.
Long pig.
It's a long pig.
No, that's what humans are known as, long pig.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
Yeah, it's really fucked up. Her and Supernatural.
Well, but by that context, it's not a bad guy at all. These are the rules that we set for ourselves, and now we're at the lower end of the pecking order, and now we've a problem with it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I didn't sign up for this. No, you literally wrote the rules. The Predator's not a bad guy at all.
Yeah.
But obviously,
that's what he does.
Allowed to have a survival instinct. You were allowed to fight to survive.
It's like a shark be a shark.
Yeah,
a shark has no malice towards you. It's still gonna fucking eat your face.
No, yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? It's kind of like what we talked about with Xenomorph. A Xenomorph's not a villain. A Xenomorph's just a Xenomorph.
Yeah.
And a predator is just a predator. I know it decides to kill us, but like, don't we go out in the wild and decide to kill a bear or whatever? We're just fair game. We're wild game. You know what I mean? Like, and we're just, even at the best, we're the pinnacle of wild game because we can defend ourselves. We can defend ourselves with technology. We can nearly meet him on his own level in technological terms. You know what I mean? And that's why when a predator goes into a jungle, he doesn't hunt a tiger. He doesn't hunt a lion. Because lions aren't in jungles. But he doesn't hunt a tiger. He hunts a human that comes in with an M16, a grenade launcher, that marches in formation, that poses a threat and a challenge to him.
It picks off some of the easier ones to really set up the final battle with the more hardened one. Yeah. It observes.
Yeah.
It's not trying to make it easy. It's not even necessarily trying to survive.
Like, would have even killed Danny Boy in the murder scene, not the murder scene, the crime scene. Remember when the Jamaican comes in and kills the Colombian warlord, and he says, fucking voodoo magic, man. And then they all get wiped out by the Predator because it's the second appearance. Remember saying he kills El Scorpio and his gang in the opening. He doesn't kill El Scorpio because El Scorpio throws himself off the roof. Or he falls off the roof.
He gets killed by Glover's Michael.
Oh, he shoots him, doesn't he?
He looks up at the
Predator behind him.
Yeah, that's what happens.
And so, like, pretty much he wipes out El Scorpio's gang in the first one. Harrigan kills El Scorpio. And then he kills the Jamaicans. And because this is where they start getting confused. Right, because the first were like, one of King Willie's guys must have killed him.
They must have done this, and they must have done this.
Yeah.
But there was even his who was his partner's? What was his partner's name?
Danny.
He goes,
Danny Boy.
He must weigh 150 pounds. You couldn't get him up here because there was.
He went like
so quickly.
He went like that 30, 40 feet in the air or something. That's what he said.
Or even, and then they have that one weapon, that this like hook-shaped weapon that goes
like
through
a spear tip or something.
And one puts it in a mass spectrometer or one of those kind of machines that measures densities. And,
no, this is after Danny got killed. That was.
But she was like, this metal is nothing. We don't have this.
It's not on the periodic table.
Literally not on the periodic table.
Range choking off camera.
Politely.
Yeah, politely. She's choking like an old school 1950s housewife.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Choking with demure.
Choking with demure is a great password. That should be the name of the episode. Choking with demure is a great password. That's the name of this episode. Or I am out.
I'll probably call it if it bleeds we can kill it or something.
Yeah.
SEO. I'm a slave to SEO, man. You know. But what you call it? So no, you said they didn't try to replicate it. They tried to create their own new thing.
Yeah, and it wasn't as good, but it wasn't bad.
But do you think he would have killed Danny Boy if he hadn't gone after his spear tip in the crime scene? Because that's what I was going to say to him. Anyway.
There was a fearlessness to him that he had just seen. And then there's obviously an investigator. So I think he realized like balls in the first scene, and then he realized like innovation and intelligence in the second scene.
In Danny Archuleta.
And yeah, exactly. And then he realized that this is my test.
Yeah.
This is the best test I've seen. Because like Scorpio or whatever, some dickhead that just happens to have 2 guns.
A lot of cocaine.
Because there's a scene where he sticks his hand into like a crate of cocaine and literally like
Scarface
slaps himself.
Yeah, does the old fashioned
Scarface
Tony Montana. Yeah.
So that's not like a game. That's not a proud trope. Because the thing is, like, all the skulls end up looking the same. It's what it means to you. They actually hunt him and go, like, that's how I got this scar.
Which harkens back to why didn't he make a trophy Lawrence Fishburne in The Predators?
Hugely.
Yeah.
Actually, no, it's an excellent. And there is no answer. I think in as we go forward, Predator gets cheapened.
Yeah.
No, I don't think.
It's a lack of understanding.
I'm not even willing to entertain a debate that it was.
Shane Black, go fuck yourself.
Shane Black, go fuck yourself.
Yeah. Make solid movies, I guess. No, he doesn't.
No.
But so the big kind of sequences in this, like, and you compare it to the first one if you want to, like, big sequences in that were the death sequences, like in any big action, horror, science fiction, the big sequences are when the team gets put together and then the team gets dismantled. First of all, we've seen Danny gets killed. Now they're totally confused. Harrigan knows just the feds, because the feds showed up at the intro and they show up again here. He understands there's something going on with Keys. Danny buys after being killed, but the Colombians got hit first. Jamaicans got hit this time with the Colombians, but the Colombian drug lord wasn't skinned, but all their bodies were skinned. So what the fuck? Like, who's doing these killings? Now Archuleta's after being killed.
It's the pacing of this film great.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you know what I mean?
You can't argue with the pacing.
And it's like just a proper police investigation.
Yeah.
It's like, who's doing these killings? Now it's like, what's the MO? Oh, the MO is, must be a Jamaican because he killed all these Colombians. They're at war with each other. But like, now he's after killing all these Jamaicans, but this Colombian guy is dead. Obviously the Jamaican guy killed the Colombians because it matches their MO. He's not skinned, but they're skinned. So that means we got a new player in town. But now he's after killing a cop. So who the fuck is he? You know what I mean? Like, and they're not trying to say who.
And I realize that he's not buying for power.
Yeah.
But like, whoever this player is, it's not about like, if I weaken, because obviously you'd weaken one and join up with the other and try and take over or whatever. But no, it was organized chaos. I think.
Yeah.
You know.
I just I love the way they're trying to make sense of it from a detective's point of view. It's like something I said to you about Nightmare on Elm Street before. That how I would make a proper Nightmare on Elm Street movie would be, I would have it all from a detective's point of view, trying to solve serial murders, on inexplicable serial murders, and it's like as if you're trying to catch a serial killer, and we see it from a detective's point of view instead of the victims. And like, we see the dream sequence obviously because they're the fun parts, but no, he doesn't know about this. Instead of them trying to figure it out, he's trying to catch a serial killer that he ends up finding out it's Freddy Krueger, who's this dead pederast or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that's the best way to do a Nightmare on Elm Street if you want to freshen it up, do it from the point of view of a detective. And that's what I liked about Predator 2. In the same way, Predator 1 showed it in from the point of view of a military tracking group through the eyes of Billy and the discoveries he makes throughout the opening as the story develops. And like, they do that like that way through how a military group would track an enemy and how they try to explain it. They do that in part 2 as well, was how a detective would try to track a murderer or gangland killer. And that's the best way to do that. And he looks at the evidence, he's trying to figure it out, and that's why
patterns.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why in this scene he's like, I love this. He's like, he sends Jerry Lambert to track Keys. He's so loud when he's telling people to track people, because they're going to do with Danny Boy. He's like, hey, Danny Boy, what's your ass? You know what I mean? Yeah. He's like, this is the guy that you just told to hide out and make himself anonymous, and you just single him out amongst the crowd. And he does kind of the same with Jerry Lambert, you know, Bill Paxton. He's like, he's telling him to follow him around and shit like that. And then he goes, get me King Willie or something, because he wants to talk to the Jamaicans to find out what's going on. And that's kind of the same thing a couple do.
I think, like, looking back, there's probably some racist shit. Remember, like, there was the Jamaican guys rolling bones, like physical chicken bones, and, like, telling the future.
Voodoo magic man.
Yeah, or even that scene where, like, you know, King Willie shows up and I mean Sheila joked about like hot boxes and stuff where somebody might have a smoke in some scenario, and then the car shows up and it opens, but you're like, a human being could not survive in that. There's like the smoke that just bellows out, and it's like, yeah,
challenge accepted.
There's been no oxygen in that car for like 9 fucking minutes.
Yeah.
You know? But I don't know. Maybe there was.
Maybe it's just more voodoo magic. Yeah. So like, this is where the Lone Ranger goes. Like, you know, Bill Paxton goes looking for Keys. he follows Keys, and because we understand Keys keeps showing up. And it's the only thing that they can actually figure out that has a link, that's a consistency throughout these murders, these unexplained murders, is that the feds keep showing up. This guy Keys keeps showing up. He even got in Harrigan's balls. Remember, because he goes after him after Danny gets killed, and he goes after him again. He goes. I think they were talking about, how he was reckless and shit like that, and then he's talking about how it was his guy that got killed, and they're not going to get in his way to kind of solve the crime and shit. And he goes looking for King Willie now. And this is one of my favorite scenes of the whole movie. Do you remember, as you were saying about he gets in the car and Jerry Lambert, Bill Paxton's running after it and he's trying to take down the reg. Do you remember that? He's got like a notebook and a pencil out and he's like chasing after the guy. Oh, trees. He's like, oh, God damn it, piece of shit.
Boot, MGC.
Yeah, one.
One.
Yeah, what did you make of the scene? So when we get to see King Willie, the Prince of Darkness.
It was pageantry, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it was because it was kind of that thing where everyone was acting like they were the big bad, but they weren't the big bad.
Yeah.
There was something kind of above, a step above. They didn't give a fuck about anything.
I think he understood, though.
He did. No, he got it. Yeah,
Yeah, he understood there was something going on because he said he could feel it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
yeah.
the dread
and that's why
man.
he had the swordy kind of fucking thing.
Yeah, I think that was just his pimp stick.
It had a sword.
Yeah, well, your pimp stick doesn't. Amateur.
One worth having. No.
Yeah, but what you think?
I keep my bitches in line with decapitation. Anytime you step out of line, instant decapitation. They never do it again.
Guaranteed head.
I don't know if we can keep any of that.
I think keep all of it, Carl. I live on the edge over here, MDK. No, but
Murder that cancelled.
Hey, we can only cancel ourselves, dude.
Challenge accepted.
But what do you make of this scene where King Willie gets introduced and we see the whole voodoo magic man and we see, the famous line I said to you earlier, I don't know who he is, but I know where he is. What do you think of this whole scene where we get to see him getting decapitated, like one of his hoes or one of your hoes?
I like it was the first kill that the Predator had respect for.
Yeah.
As you see that he
approached him.
He's a little bit ceremonious about the actual the body and all that kind of fucking shit.
Yeah.
He takes an actual trophy.
Yeah, because how long do you think he monitors people before? Because he obviously understands
I don't know,
hierarchies.
I suppose that's like how long's a piece of string.
Yeah.
It's kind of like how... Obviously, but you have a sense of honor and a code, and it needs to be what your while is in. When you look at it,
because he knows who's the top, doesn't he?
Especially when you look at your trophies, you need to be able to say that, because their species is obviously based on that concept.
Kill the alpha,
and work for it.
Work your way up to the alpha.
Even like in all the films we've seen, AVP and stuff like that, it's not like somebody comes back and says, "Well, where's your proof?" or something like that. You come back with a skull that looks like any other skull, but that's the one that you, by your code, know are the one you work for.
Yeah.
So again, I guess he literally is there of his own volition.
Yeah. But he must be monitoring to figure out the hierarchy of these
groups.
Absolutely,
100%.
Because he killed the Jamaicans in the order, or you know what I mean? Like he kills all the top guys. Yeah. Then he targets King Willie.
He doesn't go for King Willie straight away.
It's kind of like in Predator 1 where he kills the whole group before he goes to Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh yeah.
Like he was always going to keep Dutch for last.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Because he understood that he was like the
and
alpha.
If Dutch had made a major misstep, and somebody else had really stood up, then that would have been the new Dutch.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's not like everyone looks different to him.
Yeah, and I think
it's why he handles voice patterns as well.
Exactly. Oh, exactly. Yeah, because he monitors relationships and that's how he uses the voice patterns. That's what I'm saying. He understands context.
Jeez, you got a big pussy. Jeez, you got a big pussy.
What did you say twice?
I didn't. And then Billy laughing fucking 10 minutes later. Great fucking shot.
Part 1's ridiculously quotable.
Oh, ridiculous.
Yeah.
I defy you. I want anyone who ever hears this to tell me a more quotable film.
Aliens is as quotable, I think. But
it's a good one.
Yeah, but not like there's not as many quotes.
I don't know.
Not as
Like,
many.
Terminator 2 was a good show.
Yeah, is it though?
It's Hasta la vista, baby.
It's
You know,
only,
chill
like,
out, dickwad.
Very famous quotes, but not numerous quotes.
Yeah, and
Whereas
yeah.
Predator, we can.
It's a good show, is all I'm saying. It's a good
I
show.
think Predator's definitely up there.
I think
for
Predator
sure.
might be the top, yeah.
Yeah, because like every scene is nearly quotable.
And it has got to the chopper.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's
Gotta do the job.
that's what I was saying about the second one. It doesn't even have, it has Who's Next. I thought that was a great fucking line.
Yeah.
Pussy
Face.
Yeah, pussy face. Yeah.
He calls it pussy face. But like what so the pretty much like right, we'll kind of steam through to the break and then we'll jump back in for the predators and predator. But like before we go like to the break, I want to wrap this up nicely. So like no, the big sequences here, right? I want to really talk about we've already spoke about the massive intro. We already spoke about Keys. We spoke about the killing up in the apartment, the penthouse, and the Colombians and the Jamaican, or the Colombian and the Jamaicans, and then Danny afterwards. And now the big scenes that are really left are the train sequence, because this is where they're completely confused by the MO of this killer. Because first of all, it seems like gangland violence. King Willie gets killed and all that shit. That all fits the MO because it just seems like a new player in town, someone picking off all the rivals before moving in and taking over the marketplace or whatever. But now we see, what's his face? Jerry Lambert's on the train with, what's her name? Leona. Do you remember when she grabs him by the nuts when he meets her for the first time? What's her name? Leona Cantrell. Maria Conchita Alonso. Conchita. What did you make of the train sequence?
Train sequence. This film had some great sequences. It had the opening sequence of accident. It had the train sequence. It had the meat. Had the slaughterhouse sequence, and then it had.
I didn't know they had a subway in LA. I think it was.
Why wouldn't they have a subway in LA?
Because it's so earthquake prone.
That's actually an excellent answer. I wasn't expecting it.
I think that was the problem.
Why wouldn't they? And then you just kind of
because that scene screams of New York to me, not LA.
It does.
Yeah.
When I think of subways, I think of
punk
London
New York.
and New York.
Yeah. Does LA have subway? Does it? Because that was the whole thing with Musk when he wanted to make when he wanted to do his tunnels. Everyone's like, "What about the earthquakes?"
Because it's really
Like, well, this is supposed to be. This is supposed to be based 7 years. Like, it was made in 1990, but it was supposed to be based in 1997.
Yeah.
So I guess there was this like idea that we'd have a subway line.
Yeah.
Like, no. Actually, you know what? Fair enough. It's
But yeah, it's just because I was thinking about
our dumb Irish asses don't know this shit.
Yeah. No, we got Lorraine in the background here checking it off. She's doing no good. Does it have a subway? The Los Angeles Metro Rail is an urban rail transportation system serving Los Angeles County, California, United States. It consists of 6 lanes, including 2 subway, heavy rail. We come here. What you do is you come here for the Predator, but you stay for the urban transport information. That's what we do here. Seemingly there is one.
But it's underground.
It's 2 parts of a subway, 2 lines. Yeah, well, just what I was going to say, because obviously I don't know anything about this subterranean metro transport system in Los Angeles, in the greater Los Angeles County. Carl, I think you should keep all of that. Like, I think it's riveting.
Nothing there worth stripping away.
My God, they really shouldn't.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Anyway, back to earthquakes.
Yeah.
But we haven't really touched upon where Busey shows up.
No, I want to finish talking about the train sequence.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But what do you make of, like, because Lambert gets killed here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking in it. It's a cool day.
Yeah.
Like, he goes out fighting.
My issue is, don't we see the Predator not too far before that, much further away? How does he detect the action in the train? Because it's subterranean. I know he's staying underneath the ground, we find out later. But how does he find out when these acts of violence are occurring?
Well,
do you think he's following all
yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
he's following the squad.
I even think you might be trying to, in a way, prepare Michael for their final showdown.
This will be our final battle.
This will be our final battle. But he is though, like in a way, he's gearing up the bad guy, and he's seen what they
killing them one by one.
Yeah, exactly. They need to make. But you remember there is that scene somewhere where everyone pulls out a gun.
Yeah.
Where some fucking dude tries to do some shit, and everyone, all ladies, with fucking guns.
Hey, dude, you look like a kind guy.
Yeah.
My friend here needs an operation.
But obviously, I think that was. Although I do think that the writers would say that was probably abstinence.
Yeah.
That was just like here's a challenge. I was thinking, here's something to tie me over. Like,
Yeah.
you know, wow, everyone's armed.
Yeah.
That's worth doing. That's worth jumping into.
That's what I love about that
And I
scene.
mean, everyone was armed because that was almost like a military unit then moving because
Yeah.
they all had.
This is where Danny Glover figures out as well. They're like, he said, first he kills Colombians, then he kills Jamaicans, now he kills a load of civilians on board a train, and he kills Jerry Lambert, you know, the Lone Ranger.
Yeah.
He goes, what do they have in common? And then Danny Glover goes, they're all armed. And he's like, what are you saying? Oh, nothing. And now he's starting to figure it out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what I like about it, because it's still from, and you look at it, it's kind of like a detective story in a lot of ways. You know what I mean?
Oh, it is.
Yeah, he's trying to figure it out.
The approach is definitely the same.
Yeah, that's what I like about it. You know what I mean? Like, he's approaching as if he's hunting down a serial killer or gangland killer or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I
He
mean?
needs to figure out where, what, and why.
Yeah, exactly.
And he does, and he figures out that.
Yeah, and like, when does he? This is actually. Does he see? This is the scene where he sees the predator leave. Is it?
Yes.
And he chases him. Why does he? How does he see the predator here? Why does the predator show back up after the?
He shows up too late. The predator's leaving. Isn't that what it is?
Oh, what happens is they look through the train. They look through all the bodies. They don't find Bill Paxton's body. Can't find it anywhere. Your one gets stretchered out. Maria Conchita Alonso. She gets stretchered out, and then he's like, he hears something down the tunnel, and he follows it down, down the fucking subway tunnel, and then at the end of the tunnel, he sees the predator rip the skull and spine from Jerry Lambert's body, and he's like, Jerry, or some shit, and he runs up and he sees the body, and then he tracks the predator up above ground through the ensuing carnage, for lack of a better term, that's going on outside of with the news cameras and all that.
For lack of a better term, it's suing carnage. Off the top of my head. Ensuing carnage.
But that kind of runs into the fucking climax. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, does he knock the dude out here? Is this where he knocks out that fucking mouthpiece reporter?
Yeah. That dude who was he was the Jerry Springer in real life of his time.
What's his fucking name? I was going to say Garber. That's not him. Tony Pope, Martin Downey Jr. Is that Robert Downey Jr.'s father? It's okay, I have the link here. It's all good. Actually, they're dead air, Noel. Dead air.
Yeah, well, you're the one who said you needed to check something stupid.
Yeah, but you're supposed to talk when I'm not talking, Noel.
Right, alright, fair enough.
So I'm the co-host, this fucking guy.
I went too far down and I thought the character you're looking for was Topher Grace, and I was like, oh.
No, it's the reporter dude. I have him here in front of me, Martin Downey Jr.
Yeah, he was, yeah.
But yeah, so he pretty much levels him. He goes,
yeah, because he was that kind of like sleazy reporter who was kind of like trying to get too close to the actual viscera of it, and fucking he was pushing the fucking detectives for the story. Like,
yeah.
You know.
After we get the big death sequence in the train station, like I was saying, they're confused again by
the lovable goof. We should probably touch upon
Jerry Lambert, the Lone Ranger.
Jerry Lambert was a lovable goof.
That was the guy who kept saying everything's his specialty.
How we touched upon that? Or his middle name.
Yeah, is that what it is? Was it? Yeah. That's my middle name.
Yeah. But also both.
Do you remember when he comes onto your one in the bar? He's like, "Hey, dude, do you mind if I step in here? That's my sister." And he walks away. He's like, "Yeah, okay, but you're not my sister, are you?"
R.I.P. Bill Paxton.
Yeah, fucking legend.
R.I.P. Kevin Peter Hall and Bill Paxton.
Yeah.
Two absolute legends taken before their time.
Yeah. Bill Paxton, though, at least he got to live a longer life.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no jokes to be made there.
Full
Kevin
life.
Peter Hall, a very full and awesome life. And despite the fact seeing him die many, many times.
Yeah, but legendary deaths.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
but no jokes to be made about Kevin Peter Hall. Like, I mean, thank you so much
for Predator 1 2.
For Predator 1 and 2, and for Harry and the Hendersons.
Get on out of here, you hear? We don't want you anymore. Get on out of here. What you call it? So, no, we get the big run in here now because I want to steam through, wrap it up for the break, and then we come back with Predators and the Predator. And so we see the big final showdown here now, which is kind of like a war of attrition. So Danny Glover tracks the Predator from the subway system through the fucking street, through all the craze that's going on, up the side of the building, and then he's attacking him from the get-go all the way through.
That's the thing, at this stage they're like two even fighters, aren't they?
Yeah.
And they're just like whatever they can find is their weapon.
Yeah.
We get to the meat plant.
He loses.
He gets explained by Adam Baldwin, by fucking Busey's carried.
Garber and Keys.
Yeah, and that fucking they've been obviously on top of this from does even the president know? As in top. And they figured out this, and this from Dutch's account.
Yeah,
and obviously it's like the always thing. It's like Alien had it as well. The ultimate weapon.
Yeah,
we need to know. We need to get this. We can get ahead of the Ruskies. We can get ahead of
bioweapons division,
like through the roof. It's like a full 100, if not 200 years of advancement that's there if we do this right. And there's and it kind of it's almost cliche, but at the same time, I think the film had to have it.
Yeah,
it was always going to happen. They get back to the meat plant, and they had the idea to cover themselves in.
It seems he's going to taste for beef.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they cover themselves in cling film to hide their body.
Cling film.
Well, yeah, I'll say it's in foil.
Yeah. Totally different.
Yeah, they are.
It's a totally different scene with cling
I
film.
don't bake much.
But so they try to go in there and foil his plans.
But they go in there. They go in there with like hydrogen-based fucking like weapons, and you're kind of because obviously it does not do well in the cold. So like for me and you, it would be an absolutely awful thing to be sprayed with something like that because it would.
They sprayed the beef with radioactive dust so they could actually track the movement of the predator because it would give off radioactive.
Because reacting to it would give off.
Well,
even walking by it would give off.
Yeah,
some sort of.
No, yeah, exactly, because it'll get on his body and he'll give off a specific signature. And because they can't track it due to its ability to bend light, so what you do is you create a signature that you have information for, and you put that signature on that creature, and you use that signature to track the creature. So pretty much, I know this radioactive substance. I've put it in this slaughterhouse. I know what the signature is for this radioactive substance.
Yeah.
I'm going to put it everywhere. The predator's going to walk through or at least feed off this beef, be covered in it. And now we can track the predator even when it's camouflaged because we have the signature.
The predator figures out kind of as they go in that
it's
there's
the
something
stairs.
going on. It changes. Remember, and it's a great scene, and it was ahead of its time when he changes through all of the modes of vision.
Yeah.
I know there's a better word for that, but modes of vision.
Yeah.
Like obviously some based on heat, and then some based on perhaps movement, or some based on something maybe more ethereal.
Yeah, I think it was just like he was going through the different rays of ultraviolet, different spectrums.
Yeah, because he didn't see in the classic sense.
He heard them.
He heard them.
Yeah, it's the creakiest stairs ever. Why would you go up the stairs? Let it come to you.
And they attack him, and of course they're getting taken out. And then Adam Baldwin is still in the trailer saying, you can't go in there, which is just exactly what a lethal weapon guy, I can't go in there. Oh, that's good. So I shouldn't disable the box. Cool, I'll stay here.
Garber's useless in this scene because they're like, it's moving around the back of you, and he's just like looking at it. It's like, Harrigan's like, he sees, he's like, get off the comms. Keys, listen to him. You know what I mean? Like he's trying to
start getting wiped out, which is just a great scene.
He drops down in the middle of them all.
But I love where eventually Michael kind of enters with.
No, but man, you can't skip over the entire. It takes Danny Glover so long to prepare himself for the battle in the slaughterhouse that nearly all of Key's teams gets wiped out. Like so long. I love the way they switch from Key's teams being attacked in the slaughterhouse to Mike Danny Glover getting prepared for the battle. He's putting on layers and he puts in the sheet of armor, the sheet of oak. It's like, dude, we know how a bulletproof vest works. We don't need you to fucking show us him putting in a plate of steel in his bulletproof vest.
Yeah.
We'll take it honor code that a bulletproof vest can stop a bullet because that's what they're designed for. Like the fact that they show an entire action sequence with an entire team being wiped out in the space of time it takes Danny Glover to get ready for that fighting sequence is insane. You know what I mean?
It is absolutely.
You know what I mean?
But when he goes in, he kind of gives he figured out at the stage that he is prey.
Yeah.
As in, he just starts making a ruckus. He goes, I am the one you're looking for.
Yeah.
Motherfucker, come on, let's just fucking do this.
And Keys is raging, it's not him.
And Keys is raging. And I love where the predator, there's a great scene because it's almost where Busey's name is
Keys.
Keys is the last one standing, and Danny Glover makes his entrance, Michael makes his entrance, and he looks over and the laser cannon just turns around. And it just shoots Keys.
Yeah.
Back off.
No, he throws the yoke. Remember you alluded to it earlier. He throws the thing.
That Keys survives. Keys gets shot first by that laser cannon.
Oh yeah, and he cuts him in half then.
Yeah, and he cuts him in half after. But he fucking he shows up and he just kind of dismisses him, and then he fights him. And then just as he has Michael on the ground, he's ready for the kill. he shows back up and he gets a good few shots in. But again, it's like a nitrogen-based weapon, which will hurt him.
Too late to go home now.
Too late to go home. But then he's got his shoulder cannon has been damaged in the fight he just had with Michael, and he takes out the disc. And
he shoots him like 4 times with a shotgun or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and he takes out the shoulder cannon, and all of a sudden he takes out the disc, and it's just such a great. It's so iconic.
Yeah.
He starts throwing it. It starts cutting through the meat.
Yeah.
But then it just cuts through
keys.
And it just the bottom half of them just drops.
Yeah,
and it's fucking iconic. I'll never forget it.
And from the rest of that out, it's just pretty much fucking Harrigan and the Predator just duking out across the fucking rooftops of Los Angeles.
And it's great. I love the fact that
it's pure great.
They showed earlier that Michael hates heights.
Yeah.
And then like a minute later, he's on top of a building. He has to climb down a pipe.
Yeah.
And starts to dislodge.
Because he cuts the Predator's arm off.
But the Predator's when the Predator's healing up, he's climbing down the pipe and he jumps into the roof. I remember the old lady. Yeah. He goes like she shows her his badge. He goes, "I'm police," and she says, "I don't think he gives a shit."
Yeah, yeah, man.
What a fucking brilliant.
Imagine
scene.
hearing that though. But one thing I liked about that sequence as well is that they cut away because we know the Predator's last resort is suicide. You know what I mean? It just pretty much blows itself up because it doesn't want its enemies getting hold of its technology. I assume.
Well, that's their code.
Yeah,
that's
you know
their
what I
code.
mean?
Yeah,
it's like you know the Japanese, the samurai code that fell under the what was it called?
Their own sword.
What was it called? Seppuku. Seppuku.
Seppuku. Right. Yeah.
But like it's kind of like that, like a ritual suicide. You know what I mean? And I love the way they took that away from him because when he tried to implement it, and he's like, "Shit happens." You remember? And he's looking up at Harrigan, and he realizes that he's fucked because of the fall. You know what I mean? He's hanging out the side of a building. He starts entering in the code.
Yeah.
And Harrigan knows the information because Keyes told him about the bomb. Took out 3 square city blocks. Even though Arnold Schwarzenegger made out the blast radius is beyond me. But like I love the way they cut away that, and then like the Predator's fight. It's like he's kind of fleeing now. It's like I have to get back to the ship because I can't wipe out the technology in case I get killed. You know what I mean? Like so, it's kind of like instead of the Predator actually hunting, the Predator's actually fleeing, and you don't really see that much. You know what I mean? Because from there on out, he actually is the hunter because Danny Glover could have given up the chase at any time. But because he's getting revenge for for Lambert, he hunts down the Predator in a different way than Arnold Schwarzenegger. Even though Arnold Schwarzenegger fights the Predator on his terms, or he tries to at the end, he doesn't literally hunt down the Predator in the same way because this Predator has lost an arm, has lost his ability to ritually kill itself. So now it's fleeing back to the ship.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And that's what's
probably what you should do as well. Like,
exactly, because I'm sure that's
exactly
because you can't destroy the technology in case you get killed. Like, so the least you can do is be killed on board, which does happen.
And then it comes down to the last fight. He's got the blade weapon from the Predator, and it's great because there's just this literal showdown where they're just fighting behind. I love it. There's all that steam, and they're fighting behind all the columns and stuff like that. And he just gets the weapon sticks it right into his center mass. Yeah. And he goes right up the middle. Yeah. There's no surviving.
Yeah, we see the net again before that as well. Remember when he cuts himself?
And he cuts himself out of the net. Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Danny Glover, tough motherfucker.
Oh yeah. But I love again when he finally defeats the Predator and but he's standing there and all of a sudden out of the shadows comes all of the Predators that had arrived in the ship.
I love the scene.
Great scene, and he just kind of goes, "Who's next?"
Yeah, because what I didn't understand is why he dropped the weapon.
Yeah, true enough.
You know what I mean?
He's so
you can't see
tired.
my look of
He's
perfection.
So fucking tired. And obviously, at this stage, by the code, it's an unusual circumstance.
He lost in battle.
He lost in battle, but like he's not fair prey. He's injured. He's fought, and he's won. Yeah. And they have to acknowledge
because it's not their hunt.
It's not their hunt.
Yeah.
And they throw him a weapon.
Yeah.
And he sees that's from 1715.
Flintlock pistol.
Flintlock pistol from 1715. And then they all start to fuck off. And then he looks and there's the trophy room. Yeah. And it's obviously got lots of aliens.
Seemingly there's a comic book that I seen online. I haven't seen the comic book, but I heard seen someone mention it.
I read the comic book.
There's a comic book where you actually see the backstory of how the Predator got that flintlock pistol. It's supposed to be incredible. And
it was they pushed it as a script, as in somebody wrote a script and tried to, like why not follow up on that? Yeah. But AVP was too fucking alluring. Yeah. In the end, but you see a xenomorph skull cleaned and presented. And
It was nearly the equivalent of Freddy's glove at the end of Jason
it was
Goes to Hell.
exactly the equivalent.
Yeah.
Because obviously Xenomorphs existed in this universe.
Because 20th Century Fox owned the rights.
Because 20th Century Fox owned the rights. And fanboy in me, this is why AVP was so hurtful to me.
Yeah.
The fanboy in me in 1990, 1992, a kid, I was looking at that going, fuck me, they're going to make an Alien vs. Predator.
Yeah, impossible to get wrong.
Impossible to get wrong, and they did, and it was awesome.
Solid movie.
But fucking, I love when he just jumps off the ship and he survives. But I just love the fact that there is despite the fact that you think, like, what a monster, he's killed all these innocent people,
Yeah.
he's butchered them in mass, but at the same time, there is a code. You've won.
Yeah, you won.
You didn't ask to be in this game, but you managed to win it.
Yeah.
And they acknowledged that. I always thought that was so fucking cool. Because, you know, you do see the scene where all of the three laser pointers just, they come out everywhere.
Yeah.
And he's done. I mean, you are done. There's no, like, winning this.
Yeah.
But he still survives because, again, wasn't their hunt.
Yeah, exactly. Because they say to him, if you can get out here pretty much before you land.
Yeah, like, we're fucking off.
Yeah.
It's up to you. Like,
We're outie. Because, like, I'm sure it's some sort of, like, it's a, because what AVP did well was, it's like the hunts that they go on is this rite of passage. And, like, if they probably sent that predator, they land here, send him out, he completes his hunt and comes back with his trophies. Or he doesn't come back at all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that's it is. It's like he completed his rite of passage. He did his hunt. He fought well. He lost. You won. Here's your trophy.
Yeah.
Because that's the currency we deal in. Trophies from the hunt, trophies from the kill. I thought that scene and what Predator did too, did it where they expanded the mythos in very subtle ways like that. I thought it was excellently done. I think, like, it's a movie that's very underrated. Like, because the first one is legendary, and rightly so. The second one, though, I think is an excellent movie for what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
and again, based on what came later, you realise that they never overstepped or understepped the mark. They just tried to go a different direction.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was excellent.
Yeah.
It just wasn't as good, but like you said, it was like, first one was such a perfect film.
Yeah.
So what? Like, so I'll take a 9.5. Like I said, my favorite Marvel film, and they went so huge in the end.
Yeah.
In Endgame, but mine is always
Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
And I just stand by that because it's not always
such
scale
a great
for
movie,
me.
though.
It's my enjoyment.
Yeah.
And it's based on how I feel, and it's not always scale.
Yeah.
And they try to go so much with scale, I think, in the later films. But this film, as a standalone film, completely works.
Yeah.
As in, if some kid today had never seen a Predator and I saw him Predator 2, I would expect him to think, like, that's a damn fine film for 1990.
Yeah.
You know, because again, the only thing you might comment on is, well, today that looks cheap. That doesn't look like special effects today. But so what? You can't judge a film on that.
Yeah.
It's an excellent film based on what it was.
Yeah, based on judge on its own merits.
Judge on its own merits.
Yeah, I think it's a savage, solid film. And do you want to say anything more about Predator 1 or Predator 2 before we get the fuck out here for the
I
break?
loved Predator 1 and Predator 2.
Yeah.
And it only gets better.
Yeah, like this feels like the Alien episode, doesn't it?
Oh,
a little
God,
bit.
yeah.
We did all the good bits.
This is like it's a microcosm of what Hollywood has become.
Yeah, and what it's done to fantastic franchises.
And what it's done to fantastic franchises is that this film was excellent, and this film wasn't as good as the first film. But we're about to, like, wait, let's make a better film. No. Make a different film.
Yeah.
And hope for the best.
Yeah.
This was a different film, and I hope for the best. And even in ways it came up short, the script could have been tighter.
Yeah.
It was still an excellent film.
And it's been received better and better over time.
And it's been received better. It's reflected on better. Yeah.
It's aged very well, I think.
Yeah. And it's aged extremely well. The actual standalone action scenes.
Yeah.
The opening scene, the train scene, the slaughterhouse scene, the rundown scene to the end. It gets
all that shit's legendary.
All that shit's gold.
Yeah, it's iconic in its own right. Like, you know what I mean?
Some great lines, not as many as the first film, but just excellent. Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to get out of here, man.
I'm going to get out of here for the break. All right. Yeah. So this is Invasion Pod Snatchers, and this is another episode of Franchise Friday. And we're looking at the Predator franchise. We just went over Predator and Predator 2. And we had a lot of fun. I hope you had a lot of fun. I hope you joined us again after the break. So this is Invasion Pod Snatchers. I'm your host, Vincent Green. He's your host.
No, John Tui.
And we see you after the break, motherfuckers. Now, a word from our sponsors.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Because I have it right in front of me here. And just it makes Carl's fucking job easier. So what I'm trying to do here, Carl, make your job easier. And then he put Carl's. I give him the timestamp, and Carl's probably not going to hear any of this because he's probably just going to cut it away automatically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Fuck Carl.
Yeah, imagine that.
You know
It's
what I
like,
hate about Carl?
it's like, yeah, just keep trash talking him into timestamps, like Sylvie hiding down the apocalypse.
Yeah.
Is that what...